So, fellas, the only video YouTube has removed from my channel was for hate speech, and it was because of what Vaush said. This happened on July 1st of 2024. Now, this was supposed to be a companion piece to a leftist organization called Progressive Victory, who was definitely funneling dark money to streamers trying to influence naive leftists to mobilize and get Jamal Bowman elected. You can watch that video here. First, I'm going to show you the end of that video that leads right into the once banned YouTube video of Vaush being inconceivably awkward and uncomfortable trying to host a rallying stream in person to get Jamal Bowman elected. Here we go. Anyways, let's check in with how the Jamal Bowman canvassing event went with Vaush hosting, armed with zero social skills or knowledge of anything going on around him. They can't even find someone to clip on his microphone. He's left sitting there with a microphone attached to him, just muttering into it, trying to adjust it himself. Usually you would have somebody put the microphone on him and make sure it's in the right direction.
Real professional. Like that. There we go, and that way it clips onto the There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think. I can't see myself.
Vaush is so accustomed to being indoors, where he has to be out and about doing something, and he cannot handle that it's a little bit too hot. So he's gonna talk about being swampy while putting his hands down his pants.
Hello, chat. Did you know it's very warm today in New York? Very warm and balmy, I gotta say. You know, I know that the American Northeast is a little swampier than any part of the West Coast, but I think I came in at a particularly balmy period. Hello, folks. We're here in Yonkers, New York. I put on my only outdoor clothes, you know, standing up to the summer heat, and I don't know which camera's on, so I'm just gonna talk wherever I want.
So I'm gonna let this ride for a little bit, but I want you to realize this is what it looks like when people are paid to be there. They don't want to be there and they don't know what to talk about, and so they're talking about the weather. And they have no direction, and they don't know what to do, and they're just being there because they're paid and our side is right. This is what the dark money goes to.
I feel good in spite of the heat, and I gotta say, folks, it is really muggy. Like, I'm not overselling that. I mean, comedic overstatement, something I enjoy. You're all aware of this. I am like actively concerned about looking very sweaty right now because humidity has been pushed to its limit. If you can't see me very well, it's because a thin film of water has saturated the air between the camera lens and my person. It's rough out here, you know, hence it's fine linen, by the way, in case you were wondering. Buck Mason, thank you. They don't pay me. They don't pay me to say the truth. I do that for free, baby. Really, though.
I just went for a walk. I
Told you, I warned you about that walk, didn't I?
Yeah, it was hot out there. It was a blazer, and so that's why I'm sweaty right now. Because it was very dumb of me to do. But I don't know. I've been trying to get back into it, but like people have been talking about like this.
I mean, you know, I slouch at the computer chair. They tell me sit up straight. I forget. Yeah, just in case people watching don't know, you know, normally, of course, I stream from Seattle. Seattle's 100% water. We move like this through the, you know, walking around.
Yep.
It's crazy.
So it's I grew up in Cincinnati. Oh, when it's humid, it is humid. So I'm used to it, but still doesn't stop me from getting all gross and sweaty.
I just got this footage and it's too fun to watch, so let's start to end it here. Let's see how Vaush utilizes the concept of dark money to malign his political opponent.
Where's all this money coming from against Jamal?
Well, AIPAC has a bunch of like super wealthy donors. Most of them are like, I don't know if I can say most of them, because in America, of course, it's all dark money, right? Like a lot of this stuff doesn't get, you know, de-anonymized, but they're like Christian evangelicals, business moguls, that kind of thing.
Doesn't that just beat off? Since Vaush can assume and seems to know where the money is coming from, it allows him to build an entire narrative around his political opponent.
Because in America, of course, it's all dark money, right? Like a lot of this stuff doesn't get, you know, de-anonymized, but they're like Christian evangelicals, business moguls, that kind of thing.
If you
How can I make an informed decision about this?
If you knew the source of the money, right, then you would be able to what?
Make an informed decision about whether your content is affected by it or not.
Why? Why would you need that?
They have no problem weaponizing their political opponent's source of funding to malign their character. However, Progressive Victory does not disclose the same information with their funding. I can't wait to see how Progressive Victory plays out. I am going to go laugh my balls off. Have a good one. And here we are back in the present a year later, and of course, Progressive Victory is supporting Zohran Mamdani, the open communist running for mayor of New York City. It's crazy that these progressives have such crossover with socialists and communists. But now, without further ado, you've never seen Vaush be this cringe. And that's a tall order, but I think I'm gonna be able to stand by those words and sleep soundly at night. So, Vaush hosted a live stream at the Jamal Bowman canvassing event funded by Progressive Victory, a political action committee that's hell-bent on making progressives look horrible for some reason. Anyways, I want to walk you through discovering if Vaush's controversies outweigh his presence politically. I mean, with the groomer allegations from the right, and given the fact a few months ago he showed his porn folder on stream, which showed cartoon drawings of underage girls being sexual with adults and a horse, and all of the things he said about minors sexually in the past, surely it's still worth it to have him host a live stream. Let's see if the juice was worth the squeeze.
See, this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to. We've all jerked at Delali at some point or another. We have at some point in our lives been going crazy on some hentai site, and we've been stroking as hard and fast as we can, and then after we nut, we go back, look over our history chat, and we go like, oh boy. Some of these girls looked pretty young. Okay.
If you're not paying for child pornography, then there is no argument in favor of morally condemning people who get it.
It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well.
You can write this down. I want to f*** a woman as a horse.
I don't have much direct control over the flow of the stream, so hopefully everything else works out just fine.
It's not going to work out. It's going to be pretty embarrassing.
Decide how I'm going to have this positioned.
Well, it would be nice if someone did that for you before the live stream started.
Button the top button.
Maybe somebody should have put a microphone on you.
Real professional.
Facing the direction of your voice.
Like that.
And check the audio before going live, but we're gonna roll the dice.
It clips onto the...
And it's gonna come up snake eyes.
Yep. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. I can't see myself.
Can't see yourself? Start tucking your shirt in. No mirror, can't see yourself.
Did you know it's very warm today in New York?
Really?
Very warm and balmy, I gotta say.
Start shoving your hands down your pants.
I know that the American Northeast is a little swampier.
Oh, it's nice and swampy. Shove your hands down your pants. Down the crack. There you go.
At a particularly balmy period.
No mirror, has no idea what he looks like.
Where there's some like 90-degree raining.
Hot and swampy. No idea how he looks.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh my God, is that me? I better sit up straight.
Sitting up straight? You're dressed like you're in the Super Adventure Club.
Our friend joined your club a while back, and now he wants to molest kids.
Well, yes, of course. That's what the Super Adventure Club does. We travel the world and have sex with children. Yes, what else would we do?
I feel good in spite of the heat. And I gotta say, folks, it is really muggy. Like, I'm not overselling that. I mean, comedic overstatement, something I enjoy. You're all aware of this. I am, like, actively concerned about looking very sweaty right now because humidity has been pushed to its limit. If you can't see me very well, it's because a thin film of water has saturated the air between the camera lens and my person. It's rough out here, you know, hence it's fine linen, by the way, in case you were wondering. Buck Mason, thank you. They don't pay me. They don't pay me to say the truth. I do that for free, baby. Really, though, it is very warm in here.
Whew, it is hot. That's like a property of someone that's nervous. Whew, is it hot in here? Jeez, that's like a joke. He's like leftist Michael Scott.
Yeah. I'm not the only person here. I'm just being a diva right now. Here, let me move this out of the way.
This is how the first guest is coming on that he's going to interview.
Clip on, you got to use some force.
Wait, you're actually
telling her
right.
how to put on her own microphone. No one's putting on her microphone for her. There she is. He's on his phone. Oh, there you go.
Chat says this
chat
is
was
real.
being brutal. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Oh
they were saying, they were like, Vaush is interviewing Vaush. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of made me laugh.
Yeah, sitting opposite the empty chair, I think.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
I've gone crazy. The building's empty.
So she went to Qatar and interviewed someone, okay? It's public knowledge. She's talked about it. I want you to take a moment and think of the most terminally online incel way of asking her about that, okay? Sit there for a moment. Go, what is the most locked in a room all day, never talking to another person way of asking about her interviewing someone from Qatar? Let's see how he asks that question.
Yeah, it's genuinely rare to get the opportunity. I mean, it's election season, of course, and I'm really happy that PV's provided the opportunity for us to get out here and touch grass. But you, I don't know how to publicize this, so maybe I shouldn't front it, but you did some wacky grass touching yourself recently, no?
What are you talking about?
Imagine being so out of touch with anything going on in the real world where you're interviewing someone and they interviewed someone in Qatar and you were like, yeah, you did a little wacky grass touching thing, didn't you? Now, for some reason, she has no idea what he's talking about. So let's see how he re-engages.
When your little excursion over to your little up and about, is that like known?
What?
Oh boy, strike two. You know, your little excursion, your up and about. He sounds like an out-of-touch old man. He doesn't look cool. He doesn't sound cool. He's not knowledgeable. He has no people skills at all whatsoever. I genuinely don't understand his appeal aside from right-wingers bad. He's a one-trick pony. Insert horse joke.
I can't tell if you're like baiting me or you're...
No, I have no idea what you're
When you
talking
went to
about.
Qatar.
This guy allegedly gets a lot of pussy, okay? He's like, oh, like, are you baiting me? What are you talking about? How could anyone know what you're talking about? Your little wacky grass touching adventure? What, you don't know what I'm talking about? You know, your little excursion on the up and about? Are you baiting me right now? How do you not know what I'm talking about?
No, everyone knows.
Oh, okay. I'm like sweating over here. I don't know if you're giving me like no.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
Okay, well, you told me that while we were driving, and it was the coolest thing that I've ever heard. So
now let's bring it all together.
I don't know how to publicize this, so maybe I shouldn't front it. But you did some wacky grass touching
wacky
yourself
grass
recently,
touching,
no?
right? Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Your little excursion over to your little up and about? Is that like known?
What?
Are you messing with me right now?
I can't tell if you're like baiting me or you're...
No, I have no idea what you're
When you
talking
went to
about.
Qatar.
No, everyone knows.
Oh, God.
I'm like sweating over here. I don't know if you're giving me like no.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
Okay, well, you told me that while we were driving, and it was the coolest thing
I've ever heard.
So if you could please share. I don't want to give a shitty secondhand version of it.
Of course, no, you're fine. So there's a girl.
She doesn't think you're a creep.
In Gaza. Well, she was. Her name is Lama Jamus.
And that's how they started the conversation about the girl that's the youngest journalist in Gaza. Off to a great start. In true progressive fashion, this is not for people in general. This is just to placate people that already like them and already agree with them. I don't know what kind of objective observer could watch this and feel any sort of human emotion, connection, or derive any sort of actual information from this.
I believe it was, it turned into like a city initiative when New York in the 70s. That's what I read on Wikipedia. Don't quote me on this, okay?
Better than my knowledge.
Yeah.
It's with Wikipedia me on...
Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah.
He's been outpaced intellectually by Wikipedia.
Yeah, okay.
Better dust off the old email handle.
Dust off the old email handle. You old man. She doesn't want to touch him. She runs away from him. The ladies really love this guy. Let's see what happens with a new batch of people.
Hot mics live? Okay, so hold on. All right, shape up, everyone. Important.
Everyone, this is very important to listen to.
This Bowman guy, who I'm hearing about now, reading a pamphlet that I've been given. Apparently, he's good. They say that he worked with President Biden to ban ghost guns.
Listen to everyone talking in the background.
This is an issue to me personally because in Time Splitters 3, classic, by the way, you should play it. You're hounded by ghosts in one mission, and when you go underground under the haunted lab, and then you can't fight the ghost, but then you swing around and you get the ghost gun. and then you can fight them.
Have you considered the Ghostbusters? That would ruin their gun situation.
Exactly. Like, what are they supposed to do then? You know, disarm the police?
We're gonna have a lot more ghosts.
Oh boy.
Keep going.
That was a good one.
I think we can tie this back to illegals or Hamas.
This isn't awkward at all.
Sure.
It's good.
That's
nice.
Anyway, soon we're going to be commenting,
okay.
I believe, on the Bowman Latimer.
And the crowd goes mild.
Like it's just occurring to me, by the way. You know, the content creator brain locking in. Just realized we didn't introduce ourselves. I don't need to, but.
Hi.
Where can we find you?
Dreg.
All right, that covers it.
There we go. All right.
He needed to get that dog joke out so badly that he forgot to introduce everyone. He got everyone's attention. You know, we're here to re-elect progressive Congressman Jamal Bowman, and that's the joke that he makes, and no one cared. And Jamal Bowman is known for pulling a fire alarm to stop a vote. So let's see how they encounter that obstacle.
Jamal Bowman, who represents much of the Bronx in Westchester County, is under investigation for pulling a fire alarm before the House voted on the funding bill earlier this evening. A camera captured Bowman pulling the alarm. He says it was an accident and told reporters he was trying to get through a door thinking the alarm would open it.
At the same time, he's going to try to crucify Bowman for any kind of like honest mistake, like the fire alarm incident.
Oh my God, the fire! That was a question. They made that a question in the first debate. What is there to even say? First of all, if it was on purpose, it's good because it was funny. And if it was an accident, then who cares?
He's our guy. He's a leftist, so it's funny if he pulls a fire alarm and everyone has to evacuate the building.
He's the blade of grass that grew too tall, right?
That's what he is. The blade of grass that grew too tall.
Found at fault.
Yeah.
Look at Vaush not paying attention. Who is he talking to?
Even if you're someone
he can't talk to Vaush because he's not looking at him. He's just staring down.
Too much attention to this race. Or
Vaush is the host. Look at him.
Sort of maybe
no eye contact.
Vote. You haven't been paying.
He's talking into the void right now.
Gaza, Israel, Palestine.
Just look at him. Just make eye contact with the person.
I thought the mics were cut. I haven't had my
Doesn't
coffee
even
yet.
know when the mics are
what
on.
I was told that I'm relaying to you guys is that there's going to be a brief break, but after it, I'll be here. And I'll be talking to everyone individually. So they'll be here too, just partition. But I'll always be here.
Excruciating. Absolutely excruciating. Oh my God. Speaking of excruciating.
Thank you for matching energy. Chad, this is huge. I was given a cappuccino.
Vaush is completely incapable of considering anybody else in the room. He's talking to chat that he can't even see, and he just stares at his next guest. He's just staring at him. Look at how uncomfortable it makes this guy.
What do you have again?
I have black tea. Black tea. Like English breakfast. Starbucks?
No, I'm just trying to think. Is it black like the way tea would be Earl Grey? Is it like a type of tea, or is it a way you make the tea? What makes tea black?
Look at that reaction.
Like nothing in it, the way black coffee is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Look at him. He's like, did you guys just see that one?
What would you put into tea?
Cream? Sugar? Just the same thing as coffee, really.
This is how it starts.
Yeah, it's a lot like coffee, except less caffeine. Yeah. Yeah.
I always feel like in those countries, you hear about the news locally, and it's
So you're about to hear really poor
American
quality
politics
audio
are
right
real
now.
politics, you know?
And leftists in the comments go, oh, this is such leftist audio.
A little bit.
They know they suck. They know they can't accomplish good things or even adequate things to the point where they call bad audio leftist audio because they're so used to leftists trying to do something like this and sucking every time.
It's everyone.
But I also need to make up a little story for myself to justify why I'm here. And that story is Jamal Bowman is a cool leftist, and his opponent is a cringe, honky neolib center.
Isn't it so educational to participate in progressive victory canvassing events? You also learn so much from the live streams.
Because the idea of centrism has only ever existed for politicians. In real life, ordinary people are lunatics.
Right.
Like, ordinary people will have wildly contrasting and mutually exclusive views.
You don't sound like an insane person when you're a leftist. You sound crazy as a centrist. Leftists definitely don't contradict their own belief system. You know, like letting people into the country that are undocumented, as they say, and also giving out free healthcare. That we have unlimited resources. There's nothing contradictory about that at all whatsoever. That completely helps with the job market, right? Flood the country with people that also need jobs. Not contradictory at all. We have an insanely oppressive government that's racist against non-white people, so let's bring in a ton of non-white people while also complaining that the police are killing non-white people because they're non-white. Completely sane take.
On issues that you didn't even know people could have hot takes about, you know?
Yeah.
You'll have guys who are like progressive on labor, but then also think that like the police should arrest all illegal immigrants, but they're anti-racist and like march with BLM.
You'd have to be a psycho to be pro-worker and anti-illegal immigrants being arrested and deported. It makes way more sense if you're a leftist and you're pro-worker and pro-illegal immigrants coming into the country who also need jobs. That's sane. That's how you get things done. That's how you win people over.
You know what scares me a little bit? The belief that it's not always grifting when that happens, and people are just naturally crazy. Because to me,
I couldn't agree more. You grifting is you imposing order on your own universe. Absolutely.
Off, or like there was an
Yeah, I
incentive.
agree. I think the grifting allegation is overplayed for sure. Yeah.
Sometimes people are just kind of wacky.
Oh, people are a little wacky.
The safe bet between viability and pushing against the progressivism.
Okay, yeah. Well, thank you for having me on your stream, Vaush.
Yeah, the tight schedule of PV, they're efficient, you know?
Yeah.
Really, though, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice
for
to
the
meet you
first
as well.
time. And
Yeah.
I'll continue to see. You're here for the full?
I'm here for the full thing, yeah.
Wonderful, then I'll see you tons.
Okay.
Listen to how uncomfortable his guest feels and how excited he is to leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll see you soon. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm waking up a little.
Oh, he's waking up a little. Let's hear what he sounds like when he's finally waking up. Now that Vaush is done complaining about the heat, he can start to complain about the microphone and how much easier it would be, if he could put it in his beard. But now that he's woken up, he forgets what the color of his own hair is.
You know how it is.
Right.
You can clip it's my beard. Actually, I guess we could both do that.
It actually would probably be less of a straight on. I feel that's weird, I think.
Yeah, it's black and kind of furry with the microphone
Right,
cover,
right.
so it wouldn't look out of place.
At least in mine, yeah. Yours a
Oh,
little bit,
yeah, that's right. I'm looking at
Did
your
you forget
beard.
that what color your hair was?
I did. Yeah, I'm looking at your beard, and I'm like, yeah, it's a black microphone with fuzz. It'll fit in perfectly,
Right.
forgetting that I'm a ginger, kind of.
Right. Are we live?
We're live now.
Cool.
We're definitely live now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
And that's how that interview started. I know what you're thinking. You want to hear why Vaush thinks abortion is integral to feminism. Just before we get there, I want to show what he said about a female content creator.
She's wearing a fucking skirt with stockings. She just wants to live in Mad Men and be sexually harassed by like the fucking the office boys.
I'm sorry? I beg your pardon, sir. What was that? What do I want?
She just wants to live in Mad Men and be sexually harassed.
Yes, Vaush. You caught me. I just want to be sexually harassed. It's obvious from how I'm dressed. That's all I want. I'm a bit of a slut for unwanted advances.
If anyone makes an expression like this at the camera at any point, it's legally okay to be sexist towards them.
Oh, stop. What are you like? You're making me blush already.
Gonna condescend to me? That's okay. I'm going to evoke several millennia of oppression against you. That's fair.
I hear you, and fair enough.
It's like, there's a reason why abortion rights are like critical to feminism. Like, you literally can't get around that, because otherwise your shit's locked in. You get or raped or whatever.
So let's try to get in the mind, body, and soul of Vaush right now. Let's try to get into character and understand what it feels like to be an ally of the cluster B personality disorder community.
There's a reason why abortion rights are
like
critical to feminism.
Like
you literally can't get around that.
Because
otherwise your shit's locked in. You get or raped or whatever.
Because otherwise your shit's locked in.
Because otherwise your shit's locked in. You get or raped or whatever.
Because otherwise your shit's locked in. You get or raped or whatever. There's a reason why abortion rights are like critical to feminism. Like you literally can't get around that. Because otherwise your shit's locked in. You get fucked or raped or whatever. Now I truly feel like a voice of the community.
Oh, what's this? My mic? Oh, cool.
It's like the IVF thing.
That was pretty good.
That was good. Yeah.
I'm surprised we both caught the mics.
I'm surprised we both caught the mics. I can't believe the soy boys threw something to each other. They were surprised when they caught it. Listen to the audio right now. Thank God they swapped out the microphones.
But yeah, Jamal Bowman's the Planned Parenthood endorsed candidate.
I got to look into this Bowman guy.
Yeah, you should. Check him out.
I really appreciate you speaking.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Oh, cool.
Wait. I hate breaks. Thank you again. I'll talk to you soon. Hello.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Glad to be out here.
All right, fellas. I know what you're thinking, and trust me, I'm thinking the same thing too. There's a burning question on your mind. I'm just gonna ask you to be a little mature for a moment and cast aside your blatant transphobia.
Look, I'll giggle and make him bounce up and down.
Why would you be so mad at this brave and stunning woman for being completely correct?
You made a lot of people really angry for being completely correct.
Yeah, I was genuinely amazed at like how much outrage, like death threats, people trying to dox me, like all of these people trying to attack me for like doing a traditional family thing within like a queer existence.
Do you want to explain what it was?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
yeah. For the idiots in the audience and people who weren't.
For those that aren't like caught up on the situation, I went viral a couple months back because I am a trans woman and I breastfed my child, worked with my doctors to be able to...
People thought it seemed like a bit of a fetish, but I guess we can completely ignore that component of it.
Online, talked about like, you know, all of like the studies we have behind this.
With all the studies we have behind this, sounds legitimate so far.
How like we're kind of like figuring this out within the medical community, medical research, and...
Oh, okay, but the medical community and the medical research is still figuring it out. Okay, so I guess those studies sound like there may be some uncertainties postulated about them. I guess it's good to listen to the whole clip.
You know, all of like the studies we have behind this, how like we're kind of like figuring this out within the medical community, medical research, and conservatives just lost their minds about it. It's so weird just seeing how like what a different lens people are going to interpret the exact same action on if like a cis woman versus a trans woman engages in the exact same behavior, the exact same situation.
Oh yeah, dude, totally. It's the exact same, which is why you need to do studies on it, and your findings are ongoing in the medical community. It's the exact same, you're just still researching it. That makes complete sense.
And like the frame that people look at that through, like it really highlights like how much we have this kind of like implicit conditioning to view trans women like as inherently different, disgusting compared to like cis women.
Yeah, I think that overall...
I love how Vaush says,
I think that overall...
Because it's the nicest way I can deliver these next set of criticisms.
I think that overall...
Your stupid little tits look f***ing ridiculous.
I think that overall...
You might be a centrist because one boob is far right and the other is far left, and you always seem to be dead center right in the middle.
I think that overall...
Your tits are almost entirely side boob.
I think that overall...
You destroyed the notion of horseshoe theory because you're living proof that the left and right can never even be close to one another, shown specifically through the conduit of your Frankenstein skin flaps.
I think that overall...
I can't wait to see what that kid does in their rebellious phase when his friends find out how he was breastfed.
The backlash has begun, and young people are all Andrew Tate watching, like Nick Merckx jerking off.
That's like, that kind of methodology has been so common in a lot of these studies, or like studies that have been tried to use to disparage.
They're worthless.
Yeah, no, like where they will spread them amongst themselves within these like really radical communities, and like you just have an insane sampling bias that the study is completely meaningless.
So that's only true with studies that go against what you want to be true. You can't apply that same criticism to your own studies. Your own studies don't have crazy sampling bias, and they're not done by activists that aim to get a certain outcome. But I want to focus on something me and Vaush can both agree on.
The left community online, particularly the
alphabet community,
is
unfriendly. Well, no, it's not that, but okay, wait, go ahead.
If you have any fucking experience with online like
alphabet
leftist discourse, you know it's
unfriendly.
You understand this. People are hyper fragile. There's a ton of mental
silliness,
and you can't convert these people. They're not reasonable. They have to be excised from the left.
Not what I was gonna say at all. I like what you're saying. I like where you're coming from. But what I was gonna say was,
and it's because it's coming from dumb fucks who are gay. What is this person says they're gay as hell? Because it's coming from the gays. It's woke now.
Okay, well, kinda yeah, but not the gays. Really, the queer people are the issue. But
these people are less than
courteous.
I have no respect for these people. These people are fucking disgusting. You don't need to be a psychologist to see that a large portion of the broader fucking like woke-tard, cancel culture, idpo left is predicated on shared mental illness.
Silliness. Vaush, you're already in my pants. You don't have to wine and dine me any further, okay?
I don't know. Most of the time when a wildly fucking irrational lefty comes in to make bad faith arguments against me, it's a trans person. That is a fact.
Alright, I guess I'll let him cook until he runs out of gas.
If all of these dumb fucks recognize that I despise them and think they're every bit as detrimental to the left as Nazis are, I am doing good. I want these people to know that they're my enemy. I fucking
dislike them.
Because every time some dumb trans girl on Twitter who's acting out mental
silliness,
whining, calling people like me transphobic because I disagree with them, they're hurting the left. No, these people are
silly.
These people are a cancer. They're subhuman.
Question. No. Well, yeah, but you went a little easy on them. I was gonna say I'm glad Vaush agrees that there's a social contagion happening with queer identities. It's just strange that there's an exponential increase in queer people that seem to be 100% socialist. Just open your eyes and take a look.
I think that, I think the evidence is in the eyes and ears. If you go outside, if you go to any major American city right now, there are, I mean, let's face it, purple-haired queers walking around.
Absolutely.
In numbers that were simply not the case before. I think it's going pretty well, in spite of everything. It's really nice to meet you.
Well,
it was my pleasure.
See you later.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you. You as well.
Probably no break. So.
No break, buddy. You're gonna have to actually work a little bit.
All right, everyone. Up next is Alec Gunther.
Now he's getting excited.
Because it might look like he's taller than me and yoked, and it's just a trick of the eye. It's just the camera.
Uh-oh. Alec is giving him horse energy.
That's very flattering. I appreciate it.
I think that, speaking of nostalgia, I think that to an extent nostalgia is always like a reactionary force in the.
Oh, it's reactionary. You should try to not be nostalgic. You don't want to be reactionary, do you?
I think because I'm familiar with these people that I trust them more than these people.
But yeah, it's funny because you look back and when you really think about it, it's like, was it that great?
Yeah, Vaush, you're right. I shouldn't try and be nostalgic.
Glasses when we look back at it, and like I said, like you mentioned.
I should try to erase how I feel about the past, Maybe it wasn't that good.
But just the other day, I was playing Lethal Company with my friends, just online, of course. You can't split screen that. And I was having a blast. I was laughing so hard I had to cut the mic so that I wouldn't I had to not listen to them so I wouldn't throw up from laughing or whatever. They're getting into it.
Yeah, you see, Vaush is totally relatable. He was playing a game online with his friends that he didn't stream. He just doesn't stream that. He plays privately with his whatever friends that no one knows that he has. He played a game with them and he was laughing so hard he had to mute it. And because he was almost gonna throw up because he was laughing so hard. That was him trying to connect to another human being. I played a game and I laughed so hard. I know what it's like. Play a game with your friends and you're like, oh my god, I'm going to die from laughing.
But just the other day, I was playing Lethal Company with my friends, just online, of course. You can't split screen that. And I was having a blast. I was laughing so hard I had to cut the mic so that I wouldn't I had to not listen to them so I wouldn't throw up from laughing or whatever. They're getting into it. And I don't think I probably had more fun then than I did when I was a kid doing the split screen stuff. That was probably a better individual experience than anything back then. It just makes me wonder sometimes if all the people who are doing that nostalgia pandering aren't mad that they can't have that anymore. They're mad that they never got that feeling. And now they feel like they're not getting the chance to get it again because the woke left has taken away pronouns or whatever.
They're not mad that they can't have that anymore. They're mad that they never got that feeling. And now they feel like they're not getting the chance to get it again. If they never had it,
they're mad that they never got that feeling.
How can they feel like they're not getting it again if they never had it?
And now they feel like they're not getting the chance to get it again.
You would be getting it for the first time. What are you even talking about?
Yeah.
So they're more upset at a world lost than upset that time has passed, I guess. Or their perception of a world lost.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? I don't know if I'm just yapping.
What you just said is one of the most
insanely retarded things you could say before saying to someone, do you get what I'm saying? Am I just yapping? Yeah, you're yapping.
I'm getting the signal.
Yeah, I've been getting it for
But we're going to talk.
Vaush felt his hand and he was about to bust a nut.
But we're going to talk. But we're going to talk more in the future on account of us being in the same room.
Yes, we will be in the same room very much so. So
please remind everyone.
Yes, I can't wait to see you in my room where we will laugh and play video games. Like all the humans do.
Whomst you are and where they can find you.
Whomst you are, you creepy old man.
Whomst you are and where they can find you.
Why do you look like that and go, tell the people whomst you are, remind them.
So
please remind everyone.
What do you mean remind them? He just says remind them. He's like, remind them what? Of whomst you are. He talks like a pedophile alien.
So
please remind everyone.
Whomst
you are and where they can find you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm Alec Gunter. And you know, I just do kind of, people call me a Vaush clone, so, you know.
No, you're taller and more muscular than I am.
No.
If anything, I'm sort of the feeble, offspring.
Yeah, it's like Alec Gunter is the big strong daddy, and Vaush is like the little defenseless baby. Okay. It's 2024.
No, you're flattering me too much, I appreciate it. But yeah, I really appreciate you having a talk with me, really. It's exciting. I've been watching you for a while, and I'm a big fan of everything that you do. So
yeah, it's nice to finally get to meet you.
Yeah,
we still have plenty of events planned. So in the meantime, I think I'm just going to keep sitting here.
Okay.
But I have no idea why.
All right, sounds good. All right.
To those people, you're God's strongest soldiers. We love you, and I hope that you're doing well out there. If you didn't canvass, you mean nothing to me. You mean nothing to me.
So that was the canvassing event that Progressive Victory put on for Jamal Bowman. They got together a whole cast of characters from the internet so they can try and enact change in the real world. Jamal Bowman got his shiny black little bag beaten down and lost by a landslide. I guess the moral of the story is, right-wingers are bad. Completely ignore all the creepy, unethical, and degenerate behavior of leftists. I mean, look at how much fun they look like they're having. Have a good one.